Let's go, guys. Good afternoon, viewers. Good afternoon, fans of Football Trio. Here we go with another week of interesting football. Welcome here, my fellow presenters, Nico and Ajab. Hi, guys. How you guys doing today?
Good.
Doing good, doing good, doing good.
Doing good.
Nico, you have that smile on your face. I know Arsenal just won today.
I'm wearing the red, man. London is red. London is red.
Well, before we go, we'll just take another minute and wait for people to
To join us on this.
for viewership to actually come in, one or two, three people. Come on, let's go. Then we're gonna take our times also to share on our various pages, platforms.
Mhm.
I know we're talking football, but it's been a week full of sports events. The fight yesterday. I mean, I started watching fights Thursday night. A disappointment for the Cameroon martial art guy in Dubai. Then yesterday, Francis Ngannou. That fight was crazy. What do you guys think about it?
It is what it is.
Oh yeah, that
He
was
made he made $10 million, so it doesn't matter. He made
It
ten
is
million
what
dollars.
it is.
that was AJ. But anyway, we shall not take much of our time because we're here to talk football and we're here to talk Rico Besson. We all know that his contract was not extended. Cameroon is in search for a new coach, so that's what we're gonna focus on. Then after on, we can talk about some more football. Let's say the EPL. We know we have an EPL show tomorrow, but still we can just talk about some little things about the EPL. So Ajab, let's start with you. Have you heard anything about the coaching situation, candidates that the Cameroon is actually looking at, and which of the candidates actually interest you?
Um, Thanks. Yeah. What can I say?
Can I give you some names?
All I know is Rigobert Song and his staff. They've not their contracts have not been renewed. The contracts were expired as of February. Was it 29th or 28th? And I know it wasn't
28.
renewed. With regards to potential candidates to replace Rigobert Song, all I've been hearing around is like what we say, I hear say, or rumors. Nothing really verified. But I know they've mentioned what's his name, Conceição coming back. I don't know if Conceição is coming back because they want to try to fix the issues, the financial issues. Maybe trying to use that as a way to prevent him from pursuing further legally for the money they owe him. So I don't know. I heard about Conceição. I heard about Hugo Bros too. They say Hugo Bros is having some issues with the South African Football Federation. So Cameroon is also in contact with him. Sometime even before Song's contract was renewed, was not contract was terminated, before his contract wasn't renewed, just after the AFCON, I heard about the Gambian coach saying that he has been in talk with Cameroon and a few other countries in Africa, and they mentioned Blaise. Is it no? What's his name? Antoine Camboire, the former PSG Nantes player and PSG Nantes coach. Who else did I hear? I think that's it. I heard
The German, I also
Jürgen,
heard about the German
I
Klinsmann.
heard about Jürgen Klinsmann too. Yeah, Jürgen Klinsmann. Yeah, I heard about Jürgen Klinsmann, Antoine Combari, Hugo Bros, uh,
Domenech.
Dominic. Yeah, Dominic.
Mhm.
Yeah, I had. Yeah, those are the rumors. Nothing. I haven't really seen that in any like verifiable or any, let me say, comfortable news outlet yet. It's just some from some Cameroon bloggers and all that. So I'm not really comfortable saying that to to
Well,
those
yeah.
football connoisseurs. You know.
I
So
mean,
Well,
I
let me
mean,
take that. What do you think about that, Nico? It seems as if Ajab doesn't have
so
much about. Yeah.
yeah, 3 days ago, 3 days ago, I saw something come out saying that reports were, what is it, critic side or something, a Cameroonian blogger side, saying that Conceição and Ugo Bruce were shortlisted as as future coaches. That they were going to have, that there had already been conversations with the two of them. I'm not too sure um, how verifiable a source that is. But nowadays we just cling on to anything, right? The Jurgen Klinsmann stuff, though, it looks like it actually did happen. There was contact made with Jurgen Klinsmann, because the source is actually a little more credible. But I don't think he's the right guy for Cameroon. Um, just a quick thought. When I think of coaches that are available now, that are maybe out of contract or can possibly come and join Cameroon. I'm thinking, maybe folks that are like, was it Joachim Love from Germany? That would be an amazing coup if Cameroon could pull it off. I would love to see that, because this guy revolutionized football in Germany. Maybe I'm also, maybe maybe trying to shoot a shot that's so wild out of the context of things, but someone like Antonio Conte, why not try? Those are some good names. If you really want to get Cameroonian football to a point where we're not only a headline when we lose certain type of games and play horrible football, why not go all out and do some of these things, to get us ready for the next challenge that we have coming up? Because
Well,
after the way the team played this Nations Cup, man, I tell you, Cameroon needs a huge revival, and I think any coach who comes in has a huge rebuilding task, and so it's something that we cannot ignore. So they
well,
have to go for someone who is really experienced.
well. I'm gonna say this, right. I'm not a
Mhm.
fan. The reason I've been wanting to go back to African or local coaches is because I'm not a fan of getting these expensive coaches to come and coach us, because what the success they get actually from their various European countries is not limited to only them. They have a foundation. They have, because you just called like Conte, you calling all those big names. Those are expensive coaches. If you have to pay some of those coaches to come and coach us, it's going to cost a lot of money. And we don't have any structure, but they have structures. You call talking about Lowe, Joachim Lowe. He was together with Klinsmann, and they built up something for 10 years. So that's longevity, where everybody has to to do things together. But since we are not going for local coaches,
Mhm.
and we have said we are going for international coaches, then you should find someone who has coached in Africa before. So
there you
Mhm.
go.
guys like Conceição,
That's
guys like Bros. I know this. Rena is tied up with a
French
French
female team.
With the
female
French
team
team.
until
Yeah.
after Olympic. So that's how his name is out of it. But now the reason we in this problem is because we keep dishonoring or disfavoring our own. I would like to hear from you, Ayab. What do you think? Okay, like we are all excited that Eto said we were going to have a local coach. Then it turns out to the coaches cannot even hold their own, their influence. Because the reason now we're going for international coaches, did you hear what Alexander Song said? It's useless having a Cameroon coach. Even though Rigobert Song is his uncle. He says it's useless having a local coach because they're always influenced. So what do you think? Because Eto was supposed to be the difference maker, but he comes in and same old. So what do you think about that?
I'm one of those proponents for Africa, but I want Africa for Africa when we have the competence, the ability, and the structure. So this is my stance. It may be very unpopular, but this is my stance for Cameroon football moving forward. Get someone who has that CV, not the Joachim Lows and the Contes. Get someone who's been in Africa, but who has a CV. Not Conceição. Conceição is not an achiever. He doesn't have a CV. I mean, someone who succeeded in Africa to an extent, or has proven to us that they have that potential for the short-term purpose. Because we saw Betty Vox, who is a renowned coach in Germany, came to Nigeria and couldn't do anything. So bringing those people, like you mentioned, Tru3lion, they have a foundation. Coming to Africa, and it's not like Nigeria didn't have the talent. So it's something different. This is my case. Cameroon should have a program. Cameroon should be structured in such a way that moving forward, we have some coaches now who have started to show some signs that they could do something. Bring them in from, let's say, junior or under 23, or even make them an assistant to someone who has that CV. Give that person who has a CV, because even though Cameroon needs a lot of rebuilding or restructuring to get the team back to almost where it was in the past, we still need, or Cameroon still needs to be qualifying for for those renowned competitions. We can't just sit back and will not qualify and say we're rebuilding. So we
Okay.
need someone there to at least make us qualify, make Cameroon qualify for those tournaments while you're rebuilding. So get some of the Weibos. I know it's be tough, but I'm just giving Weibos. So even the some of the guys who are proving to be good coaches, give them a foundation, put them in the junior level, put them in the under 17 level, put them in the under 23 level, them and then, or maybe make them assistant or second assistant to like what Nigeria is doing, putting Finidi and Amonike next to the Jose guy who's left. And then let's say 2, 3, 4 years. From that time, I think they must have learned 1, 2, 3 years. They must have learned something from those guys, not just learning from those guys, but also working on their badges and also learning other things. And then from there, now we can now give the chance now to our own guys, and we're not just giving the chance to one guy. We know we have a guy who's the assistant coach who will be made the head coach, and we had other guys who've been coaching from the under 17. And if you coach from the under 17, you can if you move from the under 17 to the under 20, you have players you coach on the under 17, they're coming up to the under 20, you're used to them. If you're moving from under 20 to under 23, you've used those players, But all that happens when you also have a good structure back in the league. Don't let those guys leave second division and third divisions and they're traveling right to Asia for money. At least they should
Okay.
have a foundation.
Okay.
I know, yeah. So that's how I look at it in terms of getting Cameroon back to where it is. But we should get someone who is ready at the moment. And I don't think we have a Cameroonian who is ready to me at the moment. So we should get someone who has that CV and who has African experience, and then get some of our Cameroonian guys next to them to get some experience and also get and improve their own knowledge while integrating them into the senior team in the next 2, 3 years. So that's how I look at Cameroon football moving forward.
Okay, Nico. Yeah, we're talking about not ready yet, right? We're talking about not ready yet. Let me just give you some little stats about Tanzania. Tanzania has been rebuilding their football now. I think for the past decade, you
Mhm.
have Younger and you have Simba both going to the quarterfinals. I think that was somewhere last year, where 9 months, about 9 months ago, where I saw an interview of because they have a president of their football association, because the league does not directly run the league. I mean, their federation does not directly run the league,
On
right?
their league. Yeah.
Yes, it has an organization that runs the league. And I was listening to this interview, and the guy was saying they spent about, I mean, they invested about image rights. They invested about 100 million. They had about $100 million invested in their leagues from their when they sold their image rights and stuff like that. But when you look at Cameroon and you look like a game changer, Samuel Eto'o, who came in, he is running. He runs the national team. He wants to run the league. Do you think the way he's setting it up will work out for Cameroon? Because how can FECAFOOT be running the league directly instead of letting you know a different, like a third party made up of more administrators, business people, people who know the business on football, to look for investors and run the league? But now you see him fighting with owners. What do you think? What's the way forward? How can we get this resolved?
I think I like where your question is going, and I think this is part of a conversation we've had Even in the local level, at our local level here, right, with the NVT and other things too, we've talked about that. Now, the thing is, some of these folks may have played football, right? They may be good coaches now, but they are not great managers or great administrators. Sometimes it's easier when you hire a consultant to do the job for you, because what the consultant will see and point out is there are things that you may not necessarily think about. And I think that's the route Tanzania chose to go, and that's why they outsourced the running of their league, right? You don't even want to give it to state administrators, like, because the state comes in, the government comes in with their own shenanigans and whatever, like what Cameroon is trying to do now, taking some powers away from FECAFOOT as concerns the national team, amongst other things, right? The administration of football should be left to professionals who have actually studied that art in school. You can't come somewhere and hire a nurse to go be an accountant for a company, for a Fortune 500 company, right? And I think for us Cameroonians, it has to start at a point where we recognize that things are so bad now that we cannot get some type of immediate results, no matter whom we bring in the door. Things are so bad, just so bad right now. I think Song was sort of scapegoated, if I'm being honest, because things were really pretty bad. He came in and just exposed it even further, right? We can't sugarcoat it. Cameroon's situation in football situation right now is really, really horrible, and it needs a magician to clean it up. To be honest, it needs a
So
magician to clean it up. You've talked about two things. Let me just round up. You've talked about two things: the influx, the ex, Stivo actually pointed this out: the exit of players leaving to go play in places like somebody who's been playing the trade locally will prefer to go to Cyprus and play in the third division there versus stay in the elite league in Cameroon, right? There are folks who go to other African countries, Zamalek, they have other players, even folks leaving here to go play in DR Congo, leaving Cameroon to go play in DR Congo. I mean, their conditions there can't be any better than ours. I mean, think about it, third division compared to our national elite league. But there's a reason for this happening. It's because of the state of Cameroon football right now, and it's been like that for the past decade, if you ask me, to be honest. We just had a very, very brilliant players come along and make things better for us. Very
yeah,
brilliant players come along and kind of tie things together. So we have to be honest with ourselves. If we're going back to the drawing board, like Ajab said, we should bring in someone who can be a caretaker in quote unquote caretaker for the next year or two. Allow them that time and bring in some of the local coaches whom we want to build around, right? And let them come in at the junior levels, the on the 20s, on the 21s, on the 17s, on the 19s, whatever we do, just line them up so that they know that there's some type of progression. At some point, these guys become the national coach, 3 4 years 5 years from now, and then we can see their results because they would have progressed with the players that they started with in the junior levels. These are things that are important, because if we look at a list of Cameroonians out there who are coaching or assistant coaches or second in command to teams out there, there's a huge number of them. I mean, a huge number. Former players who are coaches, former, even folks, Switzerland, France, Greece, I mean, Turkey. There are lots of them everywhere. There's not
no,
only Ashiwebo. So those are some of the things that we have to really come to terms with. And I don't think the Cameroonian football supporter right now, the average football supporter in Cameroon right now, understands that this is the work that lies ahead. They will just think, okay, let's get a coach and expect that the coach will produce results. To me, if Cameroon doesn't qualify for the next World Cup, I'll be okay. As long as there's some rebuilding behind that. As long as there's some rebuilding. Because our group is
I think,
tough.
yeah, I
Our
think
group
I
is
think
tough.
what you guys are missing is this, right?
Mhm.
Like like when we talk about the national team, a lot of Cameroonians think that football is only at the national team level. For
There you
me,
go.
even in a decade, Cameroon football will not be organized just because of the fight between the government that looks at football like a political tool.
And a
And
cash
let's
cow.
say
And a cash cow. Don't forget
that
that.
it's not really, the government directly is not really making money out of FECAFOOT.
Oh, they are. They are. Trust
No,
me.
no, no,
There's a
no.
lot of
The
money in that.
FECAFOOT, again, the government directly is not making money out of FECAFOOT. They are using that as a political, their greatest gain is political. FECAFOOT officials, yes, will make money out of FECAFOOT, not the government. So far as there are fights, because when you look at the reason I took Tanzania, right, is
Hmm.
because it's a country. When you look at Tanzania, even their economy, they're in tourism, they're in a lot of things. But when you look at Tanzania, you look at a well structured country, right, that is progressive. So that's why you see their league is able to pick up and bringing in investors. Cameroon is not yet in that space. That's why we're going to struggle. Because when we look at the game, those in the federation are looking at it from their personal benefit. They want to make money for themselves. It's not at the greater profit of everyone. Yes, Ayab, you wanted to say something. Let's go.
Hmm. Yeah, I think you're
You are
muted.
mute.
Ajay.
Yes, I wanted to say that besides bringing investors, you also look at the stakeholders of the different clubs. When Cameroon League was that league that everyone wanted to play. Let me go back to the 80s when we had starters for the Nigerian national team playing in Racing Bafusan and Henry Mosu. You had James
There you
Deba,
go. There you
Abusara
go.
Mensah, Kofi Abre. You had team owners who were you had team owners who were owning who were you had team owners who just loved football. They were not there to make profit. They were just there for the love of the game. When you saw people like Zunja of Diamant, you saw Damas of Olympique, sorry, Damas of Eglen Kong or was it Olympique,
For now.
Donatien. They were just throwing money. They just loved the game. They didn't care how much they will make. Nowadays, when you put in 100 million a year, you want to make sure you get 120 million. That wasn't the case before. So it's good. That's another thing we have to also look
Yeah,
into.
but that was not.
Football has
Besides
changed.
bringing in
Football,
investors.
every owner is like that now. Ajab.
No,
Football has changed. Every owner is thinking. I mean, even the man at Chelsea right now, he's spending money. Trust me. But the next 2 years, you will see his head turn because he wants that
Yeah,
money
no,
back.
you are talking about long term. Me, I'm talking about immediate. If I'm putting 100,000 in January, I want to get 150 in
but
February.
again,
That's
guys.
how we're looking at it right now. You are
But
looking
again,
long
guys.
term, which makes sense.
You guys just call name of football owners back then in the late 80s and early 90s that were not did not last long. It was at least for a year or two.
A year or two. Yeah,
The
exactly.
Damas is not, it was not sustainable, right? So what I'm
No.
saying is that what I'm saying, and the reason I picked Tanzania, right? The reason I picked Tanzania is because all of us we know that Tanzania is not a football nation. But this has been happening in Cameroon for more than 30 years. And if we don't fix this, a lot of non-football nations will
So
surpass us. You see, because everybody is thinking that football is gets fixed at the national team level. No,
no.
football gets fixed at the grassroots, local level, regional level, whatever level. That's where football actually gets fixed. But when we have guys like Eto who comes in and then decides, instead of creating a board that's independent of the federation to run your football, because now they are having fights with owners because he comes in and sets minimum wage of 200,000. Just 8 clubs are able to pay that out of how many clubs?
Not even it. And
Yeah,
the fun is that amongst those teams that were posted as having paid all their players, some of the players are complaining that no, we have not been
And they
paid
didn't
all
know.
our salaries. So
See,
it's
and
a
it's
little
not,
confusing.
it's not a surprise. Does it surprise anybody in a country ranked 144th out of 180 in the corruption index? Even though the rules are there to try to make these changes and ameliorate the lives of the local player, the owners still find ways to circumvent and play these tricks, right? Somebody will say this, they paid their players, and the player is saying they haven't paid them.
yeah,
And
but
these are things that we don't have enforcement mechanisms to really, really dig into and figure out these things straightforward in a straightforward manner. And
yeah,
and
but the
this is
problem
my
is,
concern with the government. Let me finish my point.
yeah, go ahead.
To learn. This is my concern with the government getting involved in football at this level, at this point. And it comes with a lot of apprehension. To me, if we could follow the example of teams like Tanzania or South Africa, for a long time, South Africa was away from the public view of football. Their Bafana was struggling. The national team was struggling, but they invested in a system, and you can see their league is so popular, right? If we have to drive those vehicles, and that's what I thought. I really hoped that by now Eto would have made happen. But when you listen to Eto talk, like for example, he talked about taking team owners to Qatar, and in order to meet other team owners or investors there, and then when they ask them a question about their teams, and they cannot even answer simple questions as, profit balance, profit levels, or how much they spend in and revenues and things like that. Then what does that say about a team owner? you know some of these guys just happen. And I think back, when you think about local football, I think back to a time when I think Menchum Eagles was trying to fundraise at some point because they had interpools. And I just remember hearing some conversations when my dad was having them on the phone with some folks, and some people visited the house trying to solicit funds, and they're talking, and I'm just trying to think back, like, it's
But
probably still happening because we don't have systems in place that actually make these things easy and seamless. We've not Our football has literally not caught up. Our football infrastructure in Cameroon has not caught up to the world. And the football world is advancing so much. Technology has come in, all these things. We still are lagging. We don't even have stadia to play on,
okay,
for local players to play on. So go figure, you
but
know?
that's why I'm telling you guys that if there's no collaboration, because some of you says no, government has to stay. Government cannot stay out of football because in order for development to start, government has to lay foundations. Because I look at football as a business. That's the way I
Yeah.
look at football. So money has to be made. Now, let's take for instance, right? We had a guy like Douala, the young 17-year-old
Mhm.
who went to African Nations Cup. Up till date, I'm waiting. Africa, it's been over a month. I've not seen a video or a game where that guy can play where I can assess him. And that's one of our brilliant talents that we're talking about. So who's deceiving who?
Yeah, that's true.
You
Because
see
if
what
you
I'm
see
saying?
it,
The
yeah,
only time the only time I saw him went viral is
yeah,
on TikTok.
and yeah, and it's just maybe a fan of him who has posted it. He's like, Douala,
Posted.
like, I understand you. Douala is like the star now for Cameroon football. We should have Opopo playing, and maybe we have a whole video. We have a whole team going to watch, going to let the air it on national TV that okay, Douala,
Thank
our
you.
main guy is here. Opopo is playing Tonne. Opopo is playing Young Sport Academy. Douala is there. Not
And that's
somebody
why
come and tell you say I watch that Douala that peripheral warrior. No, that's not
That's
what I
why
want.
that's why I said what I said. Our
Yes.
infrastructure has not caught up. We still
Yep.
lag. There are so many people who carry cameras around. So you can just give somebody 20,000. Go there, film the game. Make sure we have some content we can use to advertise or put up to talk about this kid. I mean, what are the media? What are the various
No,
media houses in Cameroon doing?
but
All they want to spend their
okay.
time talking about gossip and things in the quartier when they
Yeah,
can be following subjects like these. This is very important.
no,
These are things that
I think
showcase our football prowess, right? Like
no,
if
but
you go,
nobody's
yeah, go
gonna nobody's gonna spend their money and go I mean record games for free, right? Well, I followed Samuel Eto'o. I followed his what's that guy's name? Obama.
Obama, yeah, he's
Yeah,
communications director guy.
yes, he's communications guy. And he was being asked why Samuel Eto'o took an interview to France 24 as opposed to a local channel. Do you know what he said? He
What was
said
that?
they have a contract with CRTV to show the local league, but CRTV has not shown a local league, and due to that, because CRTV has a conflict with Samuel Eto'o, that's why Samuel Eto'o will never give an interview to CRTV.
CRTV.
I mean, you see,
See,
you see the
just
mentality. You
you
see the
see that?
mentality. The
Yeah,
mentality is that people are taking personal problems, personal issues,
making them into national issues.
yes, making them into national issues. So how do you make business in such an environment? I remember 2 years, 3 years ago, before some 3, 4 years ago, before Samuel Eto'o came. Back then it was Njoya, and
Mm-hmm.
CRTV was fighting for the rights to show the league together with I'm not sure Canal do one of these Vision Card, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Vision Card was proposing more money, but they gave it to CRTV because it was a government TV. You see what I'm saying? So how do you want to make your money by making bad business decisions? So how does Samuel Eto'o, because a lot of us, right, had hope on Samuel Eto'o. He comes in, he doesn't have the right people around him. So how do they expect to make money? Well, let's not keep talking about this back and forth. I just saw, let's go to this to some of the comments. Nico, there are some comments in there that might be catching our attention, especially
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So the one I highlighted is JC. The problems in Cameroon football did not start now.
No, not
Um,
JC. It's Julius. Julius Cho. It's
Julius
not JC.
Julius Cho, yeah. The problems in Cameroon football did not start now. I believe the main problem is the football owners, and I
Yeah.
think that's a point that Ajab was kind of hammering
Yeah,
across.
I did
And
not elaborate on it well, but
mhm,
yeah, it kind of leaned towards what I was saying. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I
and
mean, could you guys, before we go forward, could you guys elaborate? Because most owners, I will say this right, most owners that I've known since 30, 40 years ago, and they were like they were like parents of close friends and all that.
Mhm.
Those guys ruined themselves because of football.
Yeah, no, no, no.
So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, I'm coming. I'm coming.
Mhm.
Some of those guys ruined themselves because of football because
Yeah.
they were not making enough money, but they were using money to pay players and spend a lot,
Mhm.
which some people don't know.
Yeah.
So how is the problem? Because when you guys say the problem is owners, are you saying owners are the only problem?
No, not the only, not the
no, not
only.
the,
No,
not
then
the,
explain
Part
yourself.
of it's part of the problem, not the only problem.
Explain
Yes,
yourself.
just like players are very dishonest, some of those owners are very dishonest,
quite. Yeah.
right? Some of those owners will push a player to sign a contract, right? Some of
Mhm.
those owners will tell the public that this player is not playing because this player is very indisciplined. He went to the nightclub. But maybe the reason the player is not playing is because they told him we're going to pay your 500,000 by the end of June, and now it's October, you haven't paid it. And when that player comes out to say it, we the fans will say, "Must be a problem. You want to play bonner for money? First, prove yourself before you play for money." And those are the same players that when they get injured and they come for you, the fans, for painkillers, for ibuprofen, you will not offer it to them. So some of the owners are the problems because the influx. If you see what I was mentioning earlier, players leave Cameroon Elite One to go play third division in Thailand, second division in Thailand.
Mhm.
Players don't even get to the level of playing the Cameroon Elite One. They're still in the Cameroon Elite Two, and they get visas to go play in Indonesia or Singapore. Not even an Elite One teams there. That's because where they're playing, they're not giving them even, how can I say, taxi money. So
Okay,
they're
but
like,
look at,
okay, let leave this
No,
thing,
and
go
this
hustle for
is
that side. You understand?
yeah.
So that's where
okay, but
ownership
guys,
has a role from my
okay,
experience.
guys,
From my opinion. Go ahead.
okay, guys, but look at where I'm coming from, right? I don't
Mhm.
want to get into because that's a small problem. Even here in Europe and all that, people have your player disputes and all that.
No,
I'm,
but the
I'm
thing
talking
is,
about. Listen, hear me out.
go
I'm
for it.
talking about laying the foundation to bring in more money and to stop players from going out because it's evident that clubs cannot pay their players even the minimum 200,000, which is not even okay. There's this guy, right, who just went to SC Simba. I think it was in the league last year.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Tara. His name is Malone, Che Malone.
Che Malone.
Tara, yeah.
Che Malone is making, I think he's making about
Ab-
$2,000.
About four, no, more than that, about 4 million CFA a month. Yeah.
Yeah, you see, no, that is inflated. I checked it. He's
Wait,
making about 1 million CFA. We're about two
no,
thousand.
wait, I'll check it.
Yeah, about
Okay.
$2,000. You see what
No, more than that.
I'm talking about, Nico? Can any club in Cameroon pay a player that amount?
There are clubs that can do it.
No,
There
no,
are clubs that can do
no,
it. It's
no.
just see the thing that's ruining Cameroon football is cronyism more than anything else. And if Eto's example or Song's appointment as coach of the national team and Eto surrounding himself with his friends doesn't show that doesn't prove that enough, then maybe we're in the wrong conversation here. Because to be honest, this whole thing boils down to cronyism. People always putting their friends in places that they even regardless of the qualification, they bring in their friends versus versus looking for a professional. What is who is Ernest Obama to be acting as a
No,
communications person for
No, I'm
FECAFOOT,
not.
for example.
no,
So
but
some of these
Nico,
things, right? Some of these things.
Nico,
Let me finish my point. I want to wrap around and bring it home. The thing is this: when you start out with a premise like that, you're going to find it very tough to attract sponsorships or marketing partners. Football is a business, no matter how we look at it. Football is a business. If an owner is going to be running a team and he pays somebody $1 million a month, $1 million a year, or whatever, they want to make sure that they can get that money back after a certain time. If they don't get it in shirt sales, they want to get in some type of marketing deal or something, sponsorship deal. How many, like there's a comment even on Facebook now, how many companies in Cameroon right now can invest up to 50 million, not even 100 million, 50 million CFA in a team as a sponsorship deal as part of a sponsorship deal. They
Okay,
all go
Nico.
to FECAFOOT. MTN, for example, goes to FECAFOOT, does the deal with FECAFOOT, and then FECAFOOT now keeps all that money. Say they're trying to invest in football.
But
How are you
Nico, let me
investing
ask you a
in
question,
football if
right?
the money doesn't trickle down?
Yeah, but Nico, let me ask you a question. Maybe I'm not. I'm not explaining myself, or I'm not asking the right question. I'm talking about a platform, right?
Hmm.
The
Hmm.
government. Because let me give you an example. When I used to live in Dallas, Texas, right? The Cowboys, which is an American football team,
Yep.
they wanted to build a
The
stadium.
stadium. There you go.
They increased
It's a
taxes.
partnership between the city
Yeah.
and the state,
So where's
right?
that partnership between Cameroon?
It's it's not happening. It's not
Okay.
happening. And that's exactly what I'm saying. It's all about cronyism, corruption, and
Sorry.
all these other things. Because everybody is looking at how much money will come back to them, and they don't want to do the right things.
True Lion, you're talking about a platform or structure that will not allow players to go.
Infrastructure.
If the
Yeah.
president, if the team owners or the team stakeholders or let's say the powers that be are not encouraging those players, they will leave. So
They
if
will exactly.
the
Yeah.
structure is not only coming from the professional league association
I have.
or the football federation or the government. Those who own the teams, if you don't encourage those young guys who kill themselves Monday to Sunday, they will leave.
But
Players,
Ajab,
I've seen players leave
Ajab,
Premier League, sorry, Elite One teams to play Sunday sharp. Say better
yeah,
play Sunday sharp, they know pay me than
Yeah.
to play first division. They
yeah,
know
but
pay me.
Ajab, because there's nothing in the league. There's nothing. We don't
Yeah,
have
but
value.
that's what we're talking
And
about,
we
right?
all agree on that point.
Yeah, we
I believe
agree
we
on
all
that.
agree on that point.
I totally agree that there's nothing in the league. I totally agree. And when I made my comment about Cameroon moving forward in terms of coaching, I say all that needs to work if the local league it's also functioning. You understand?
And I
Yeah.
think I think we need to reevaluate how the football situation is set up in Cameroon. MTN should not be doing deals with FECAFOOT, for example. Send them to those teams. Send them to those teams directly, and let's see if it makes a difference. Because the idea of trickle down economics has never worked anywhere. I've not seen it work in the US. I've not seen it work anywhere else.
Okay.
So
No,
my thinking has always been if we have veritable partners who are like who can sponsor certain things, parts of football, we will have an amazing league. We don't have that because all this money goes to FECAFOOT for sponsorship, and that's where it ends. It should always go to the teams. For
But how
example,
much?
Adidas does not sign it. It doesn't matter how much. We
No.
still, the thing is, we have to structure these deals now. We have to start figuring out how to structure these deals so that the teams benefit more than just the organizing body or the institution of FECAFOOT. Because
Okay.
FECAFOOT will make money regardless. FECAFOOT is going
Okay.
to make they're going to make money regardless. We need to figure out how these teams will make money because that's
Fikafood
where.
is not making money.
What,
Fikafood is
what,
not making money.
no,
Okay.
don't say that. Don't
I'm
say that.
telling you,
FECAFOOT,
look at the balance sheet. They're in debt. They cannot pay their debt. Okay. Let me actually go to a second comment. Let's pick up a second comment.
okay. Second comment. Well, JC said, "Let's go." The next person said, "We know first get players." I think that was in reference to the team. And then there's a comment there from Dennis Ako Array. Song was clueless, but I don't see any Cameroonian who has the experience or influence to be a head coach. I think Ajab kind of
No.
agrees with that.
Well, I can comment.
For right
Let,
now,
let me comment on that.
go for it. Go for it.
Let me comment on that. I think the problem is a mentality, right? I think we have a serious mentality problem, which is deeply engraved in us. And if that mentality doesn't change, then we're in deep problem because I don't think a Cameroonian coach is worse than a foreign coach. The
no,
problem is interference.
I don't think that.
The problem is interference. And
Boils
when
down to this.
Eto, yeah, the problem is in interference. When
Mhm.
Eto hired Rigobert Song, we thought Rigobert Song is gonna work, without being interfered upon. But as we see, Alexander Song came and talked about it, said there is no need to hire a Cameroonian coach
No.
because they will always be interfered upon. Yes, go ahead, Aya.
Yeah, but if Alex Song says that, does it mean that it was song there was interference?
Oh, there
That
was
means the
interference.
Alex.
There are many objects. Yeah, there
Okay,
was
yeah, but I'm just
interference.
saying
Very, it was very clear.
let's not insist on what Alex Song said. What I'm trying to say
Oh
is
no,
that
I'm just
okay,
He's
do we
pointing out
telling you
that
that
do
even
we
his cousin, even the
yeah
cousin or the
it,
nephew of Rigobert Song
I mean,
okay
tells you that there was interference.
do we think Song underperformed because of interference?
No, No,
Okay,
it was not
okay,
only that.
okay.
No.
Let's go ahead.
He's
Perfect. Okay.
qualified.
Yeah, because the problem with the interference is the Unana problem that keeps getting bigger and bigger that we cannot manage anymore. Go ahead,
No,
Nico.
no, no. I was just saying.
So,
I just wanted to talk about
point
the
that out.
song issue. That I don't think interference was one of the reasons song on the
No, but
performance. You answered
it
it.
was,
You answered
yeah.
it. So let's go to the next maybe the next comment. Yeah.
Cool. All right, Bitakola said we really need someone with a CV like Ajab said. I think we already looked at that one. And then there's a comment here. I think Dennis Ako was trying to guide us in Chet Malone, who is making 4.5 million. Okay, there was still a question about that, so I'm not too sure.
Is that like 4.5 million CFA
Yes,
Yeah,
I know
4.5
it's. I
CFA.
thought it was 4 million CFA
Yeah, 4.5 CFA.
a
All right,
month?
a month.
a
So
month.
Yeah,
Yeah,
4.5 million CFA, that's about $9,000 a month.
yeah.
yeah. In
Oh
Cameroon
wow, I need
football.
to check on
The,
that.
the
Yeah.
contract was about $100,000. The transfer fee was
Mhm.
about $100,000.
I mean, and that tells you there's money in the football in Cameroon. It's just the willingness to
No,
put it
not
out.
in Cameroon, bro. Believe
Now,
me, that's Tanzania paying
No, I
for
mean the
that.
transfer fee.
the transfer
Tanzania
fee.
Simba paid Cotton Sport about $100,000.
Exactly. So there's money in
Yeah,
football.
no,
Don't
no,
score me
no,
100K.
no,
100K.
but listen, Kotong Sport has been consistent. You
Well,
see,
that's true.
Kotong
Don't score
Sport has
is-
been consistent,
Yes.
and that's why they keep thriving. But what I'm
Yeah.
telling you is that, let me give you an example. If I have a team in my my village, Bisongabang, that
Mhm.
leaves Bisongabang to go play in up north in Kotong, how long does it take them to reach there? Infrastructure, the roads, and also those.
Fly,
That's why.
fly to Garoua. Why do you need the road? Fly.
How will you fly from Bisongabang to
No,
Garoua?
you drive to
So the
Douala and fly to
transfer
Garoua.
But
market,
listen, but you're just still. We need roads. We need infrastructure. I mean, in order.
Yeah, no,
That's
no, no.
why.
I know. I was
Yeah,
just playing.
that's why I called Tanzania, right? That's
Mhm.
why I did not talk about some. I want to talk about Tanzania,
Yeah,
some country that we don't even know actually plays football.
no,
I
yeah.
but they have
checked
a
out some of their stadiums.
very well
Remember,
structured.
Can you imagine the center back, the guy who played, who was a center back pair, the guy who was the center back pairing with Bemba for Congo?
yes.
His Chemalones center back pairing at Simba.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And the fun is that I called Tanzania because this is a country that we don't hear much about. But
Mhm.
when I
Yeah.
checked that their infrastructure, I checked the way their football, their league was set up. I checked their derby because they have a derby. Simba that plays what's the other team?
Zanzibar.
Young
No,
No,
Younger
Yanga.
Simba,
there's another team. I think they
Young
lost
Africans.
the
That's
other
Young
day to them.
Africans. They
Yeah.
call them Younger, Young Africans. You
Yes,
know,
young Africans. Yeah,
yeah,
that's it.
they are so advanced. You
Yeah.
see, they are so advanced, and
And
because
I just a quick check, just a quick check. I'm looking at Simba. They've gotten players from Al Ali. They've gotten players from Mimosas in Cote d'Ivoire. They've gotten players from Zambia, Green Eagle FC. They've gotten players from Morocco. You know,
Yeah, and you know
so
the keeper, Malian keeper in the AFCON. He also
yeah,
plays. He plays for Young
it's-
African. He
yeah,
plays in
from
the
Yanga,
Tanzania League.
from
yeah,
Yanga. And the transfer market has the transfer fee at $118,000. So very correct there, Dennis Ako. It was definitely in the 70 million CFA range. So yeah, so it's a huge transfer. Just calling it out. So if you look at Coton Sport, for example, right? Coton Sport has the goods. They've been consistent, but which other team can we really point to in Cameroon
Yeah,
that's doing the
and
same thing?
sorry, let me go back to this. Sorry to interrupt. In
Mhm. Go for it.
2000 and what year did Sally Edgar was best player for Cameroon League? What year was that? When
There was a Nations Cup that year. I remember.
2008, no, 2012
around
Yeah.
2012, when Sally Edgar left Cotonsport, he
for
signed for
Hamburg.
Monaco.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Monaco was in the
Monaco.
second tier football in France.
in
There's
France.
one
Yeah.
of these football guys in Cameroon they call Ngasa Happy.
Hmm.
Yeah,
He's very knowledgeable. Ngasa Happy said that he made a comment. He said top players in Cameroon shouldn't be leaving Cameroon to go to second tier teams in Europe. And if we don't tackle this issue now, we're going to have problems
Yeah.
in the long run. And that's what's been happening. Now, the guy who was Ballon d'Or last year for Cameroon, I heard he's now in Oman. What country? Oman or something. I didn't even know they play football in Oman, So
yeah, but
I
I
that's
mean,
don't
the but that's the problem, right? Because
know.
because I understand us Cameroonians, right? We are very don't and I don't want anybody to take it the wrong way. We are very ignorant in the sense that we don't take the time to do research. We don't take the time to question our leaders, and we just go with the flow. Everybody's focused about the national team, and they feel that that's where football actually resides.
Starts and
I
ends.
watched, I watched. There was a flyer going out or a picture going out where Egypt, I think it was Egypt or Morocco, but they had their finals, cup finals. Guess
Yeah,
who was bringing out the cup?
Mourinho, Totti, Ronaldo, right?
Exactly,
Yeah,
Divided. Yeah.
yeah,
See,
exactly.
yeah.
Morino, Totti. These
And
are
that's
countries
yeah,
that are actually building their football and that have understood that football in a country is about the
marketing,
winners.
marketing,
Yeah, then
marketing.
you market for
Look
investors
at,
to
look at
come.
I mean, look at players like Roger Milla. They want to do their anniversary games. They go and play them in France. Etofis, Patrick Boma. They go and play the games in some stadium in France
no,
versus bringing those stars to the US.
Mila did it in Yaoundé.
Yeah,
Mila
bring
did it
those
in
stars
Yaoundé.
to Cameroon. Bring those stars to Cameroon. And this is the thing: we don't have that pool because we don't understand the marketing element. It's just Cameroon lags in almost every aspect, and it's such a microcosm, or if I can use that word, whatever the word is trying I'm trying to say, of how the country is run. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because it's like our politics, our government, the way our administration works, it's just that's just how the same mentality that's applied to football. Even though football is a different type of commodity or product that can be marketed in a different way, we lose out so much. I mean, Cameroon has been to the World Cup how many times? We were the first country to make it out of the second round for African countries, the first to get to the quarterfinals of the World Cup. We've never really benefited from any of those things. We've never really played those things, those aspects up to market our football. Instead, we have people who have just taken things for granted, and our football is just like literally deteriorating in front of teams like Cape Verde, Tanzania, Namibia, rebuilding their football right in our faces, and we're seeing them do it, and they're passing us. They're passing us in the next FIFA rankings. Trust me, if you're not gonna be if you want to bet me, if the next FIFA rankings will have us really losing more positions. We don't
But
even
you
have
know
a
what?
and we
You know
have
what makes
nations
me laugh?
coming up in 3 weeks.
You know what
Qualify.
makes me laugh?
Boy,
Because Nico is so attached again to the national team. You see, he's making so
Yeah,
many good points, right?
yeah.
But
I
then
mean,
he says the next figure, I don't care about FIFA
the,
rankings.
the work
Thank you.
the
I
work
don't care
starts
about
at the
FIFA
lower
ranking.
levels, but the national team kind of carries that result. The,
Thank you,
the
thank
national
you.
team is where you see the results. That's
I
why.
don't care about FIFA
No,
ranking.
no,
Seriously.
no, no. Your league should be reflected in the African tournament cups that you play. I mean, the club cups that you
Yeah,
play
exactly.
and all that.
Yeah,
That's the
you
way
know
your
The
league.
CAF Champions League, stuff like that. Our
When was
teams
the
don't
last time Cameroon? When was the last time Cameroon went past the first round in all those
never,
stuff? No,
never.
about 20 years ago, and that was Coton
Yeah,
Sport. I
about a
remember.
decade ago. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
more than a decade ago.
Okay, so
So,
that's the problem. You remember when we organized the African Nations Cup, right? A lot of
mhm.
people were excited. I told them that no need to be excited because the stadiums were built just to
Just
showcase
for that
that
purpose. Yeah.
that Bia was doing something good, right? It was not built with a vision to sustain the league. You see, big
Yeah, because
stadiums.
they will never use those stadiums to play the league, right? Most I
Exactly.
think they're using it for like weddings and all that.
Yeah.
I
So
think
when you go to a place like Tanzania, they have stadiums of 10,000. 10,000 here, 2,000. That's what, and Tanzania is a bigger country than Cameroon, about 60 million people. You see what I'm saying? So why are we building big stadia? Why? And you saw people that you believe in, like the Samuel Eto'os,
Yeah.
promoting that and talking. Then now, fast forward, he's into FECAFOOT management. A lot of people that think that he will be the light, but now we come to realize that if in fact the government is not in sync with FECAFOOT, nothing positive will happen in football in that country.
And just to answer your question, the last time Cameroon had a team in the CAF Champions League was in 2017. Coton Sport was dead last of their group. They didn't win a single game.
Yeah, no, but I said no. They go every year, right? But I said, when was the last
They don't make
time?
it. They don't make it past the qualify. They don't. They don't even go to the group stage.
Exactly. That's why I
They
said,
go
when was the
to
last
group
time?
stage.
Because now there's gonna be like a ranking, right?
Yeah.
Mutsepe is starting another competition that is gonna pay the clubs big time.
Yeah.
investment. The problem is that if we don't take time, because we have greedy leaders, if we don't take time to invest in our
With
football,
no vision. We have leaders with no vision.
that's why I
Nobody's
say
thinking
greedy.
5 years down the road. Everybody's thinking the immediate. No, like Ajab has this blueprint, and it's the blueprint that if we actually pay attention to, right, Cameroon football in the next decade, after the first 5 years, the next decade will be unbelievably good. But we're not thinking in that sense. I can guarantee you right now, there are people sitting around in FECAFOOT offices and in the government ministry of sports or whatever, trying to figure out how they can get a coach in who can at least get us to the World Cup because that's their target. You know,
Yeah, and
and they
yeah,
will
I mean,
forget about the lower the U23s. They will forget about the U20 the U19s, the U17s. Then they will be thinking, okay, when the Olympics are coming, let's put together a team to take us to go to the Olympics because the Olympics
no,
will be coming.
You're not
let me
looking at the
actually
youth league.
surprise you guys. Let me surprise you guys. The government
Mhm.
came up with Anafoot. Anafoot is the government own football school.
Like the
Yeah,
Fontaine, like the France thing, the
Yes,
Fontaine in France.
Fontaine
Yeah, the
Bleu.
modern bet. And
and
a
Yeah,
guess
foot.
what? It's
Yeah,
not effective, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
not effective.
the problem is that these guys are trying to do something, but
yeah.
it's just like no, believe me or not, believe me or
They're
not.
discovering ways to make money. That's all I'm
No,
thinking.
believe me. Let me
Ways to
tell you. Let me tell you. It's even worse, bro. It's even worse. You see, it's even worse. Okay, take even an example like Samuel Eto'o. Samuel Eto'o knows that he's doing something good, but the problem is that show me a country where football has been built by a footballer. That's the question I have for you guys. Show me a country. I'm not saying that Samuel Eto'o cannot lead. What I'm saying is that there has to be synergy with business people
the states.
coming to invest, which the government will set up a platform. The business people will then come in and then they will work on a plan how Cameroon. Look at Tanzania. Let's not go far.
Taxation, business laws, those things help
Exactly. You
to
know,
push.
Yeah,
But then
because like
again,
a lot of people were like, why is because Chemalone was like his first of all, he's English speaking. So a lot of English speaking
mhm,
people know him. It's a kid I knew from when he was still like maybe 15, 16. Like a lot of people were like questioning, like, why would this guy leave Cotton Sport to go to Tanzania? People who didn't know anything of the growth of Tanzania football.
yep,
They were like,
mhm,
why is this guy leaving Cotton Sport? He go
yep.
do it for Tanzania. But they didn't know. They thought it was just the money. But it was there's something besides the money. Players leave Simba on a weekly basis to go to for tryouts in Spanish Elite One teams, French Elite One teams, German Elite One teams, English and Elite Two teams. So it's not just that money, but he knows that he will grow faster. And I
And
don't
guess
and he wanted to leave his comfort zone, which is another issue we have.
and guess what? Guess how much Simba is now selling those players for?
yeah,
Exactly.
lots of money.
Simba paid 75 million CFA for Malone. Malone has been a standout player for Simba ever since he joined Simba. If anything comes for Simba, they will make double that money. Minimum. Worst case, double that money.
Okay, so we are drawing to the close of the show. We are on 53 minutes and all that. So I
A few more
know.
comments on Facebook. If you want me to go over them,
I'm
I see
sorry.
a
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Then we
let's quickly
shall.
cover the comments. Tres Catorz, there are no qualified Cameroon coaches to coach our national team. We need to tell ourselves very inconvenient truths. That's true. Seventh division in England is better than Cameroon's first division. First division in Tanzania is better than France's third division. Players are following the money. Put the money in football put money in football, but put money in your football. But where will the money come from in Cameroon? Cameroon is a poor country. Cameroonians are poor people. You can't expect poor people to have the economic bandwidth to invest in distractions like football. So the fact that he calls football a distraction is what head scratching, but that's okay. It's a fair enough comment. How many Cameroonians have a monthly income of 200K a month to take care of all their bills and have enough to go watch a game? And buy jerseys, etc., to support their team. That makes sense. That was a stupid strategy then. I don't know. I think he's referring to owners
Can
spending
I
money.
comment? Can I comment about what Tres Catorja said?
Yes, go for it. Go for it.
I mean, football is a business, right? And you see Brazil. Okay, let's not even go to Brazil. We just talked about Tanzania. It's not as if Tanzania is very rich country, right? It's about organizing and bringing up the value of your product. Product
Mm,
in football is a footballer and things like that, right? You bring in investment. When you bring in investments, just see what I talked about Tanzania. 100 million US dollars of TV, right? how does that money actually trickles down into the league, create
Mhm.
jobs, you see. So there's gonna be a turnaround. So if Cameroon know that we have talent, because yes, we have talented football. If we work and invest money on our footballers, make good institutions, I mean, the laws and all that, so that if somebody embezzles or you don't pay players, there's
You have
consequences.
mechanisms, yeah, you have
Exactly.
mechanisms to hold
So
them
if we
accountable.
can build that up, that's gonna bring money, and that's gonna, because now I think who made that point? Samuel Eto'o. He said that
Samuel here.
our players come, they take our players, pay about a minimum, let's say let's just say pay $1 million for them, and 2 3 years down the line they turn around and sell them for 20 30
20
million
million,
dollars
three
you know
times more, 10 times
exactly.
more.
So if we can increase our value, instead of 1 million, teams will be buying players for 20 million, 30 million, 40 million. You see what I'm saying? So we need to do something. If we can invest in our football, then we shall see the industry grow. That's just all I
And
want to say.
I mean, I absolutely agree with you, True Lion, on that. I think there it's a double-edged sword in the fact that it would be it's beneficial to both sides of the coin if you look at it. In But then the thing is, who wants to start? Very few people want to take that time to start, because even the football professionals or the administrators of a football don't take it seriously enough.
Yeah, it's
They
too
don't have the
risky.
vision. Exactly. They don't take it seriously enough, and they don't have the vision. So some of these things are things that can be proposed by someone who is in FECAFOOT and actually champion it as a pet project and work on it to get this done.
but, but as we
You can sample it. These are things that you can even do. Forget about football. Take a different organization. NBA, the Cameroonian Basketball Association, for example. It's small enough. It's agile enough that it's a small enough institution that somebody can manipulate and make changes and actually see impact. Use that as a guinea pig and just show the folks, the Cameroonian side, and say, look, of the football side, and say, look at what we've done with basketball. But that's not going to happen because we're in a situation, in a system that's set up to always think about these instant gratification things. And that's why I keep saying, it's going to be a tough sell to get someone in and tell them, hey, and tell Cameroonian football fans, look, this is for the long run. If they don't get results right now, we will be okay, and all that stuff. It's going to be a very tough sell. But let's
so
just finish the comments and
yeah,
then
finish
see.
going.
Tres Cator says, in this year's AFCON, after France, the South African League had the second highest players in the AFCON. The South African League provided about 35 players. That's a good start. That's a good start. I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
Tanzania had about 8 or 10. Eh?
Oh, okay. That's good. It would be nice to do a stat to figure
Yeah.
out which players from which leagues and how many players. And I think
No,
that
France
would
had.
be a nice stat to have from the AFCON and figure out.
Egypt
Yeah.
also had a lot.
Yeah. I know the English league also had a bunch of players.
Egypt. Mhm.
Egypt too, Egypt, even Morocco, I know. But Bambutos was a no-show at CAF because FECAFOOT didn't give them a license for failing to pay player salaries. Okay, and that's another thing. This issue of administration and FECAFOOT looking at owners like an opponent versus a partner in trying to
Exactly.
to promote
Exactly.
local
That's
football.
that's that's punishing some of those kids who could maybe show
Who
up at
could
that
make
international level and
exactly
get a contract. You're not punishing
exactly
that team. I don't
exactly.
think that's
You're
a
not
good
punishing
punishment.
the
I
team
don't think
because the
that's the
owner of the
right
team.
appropriate punishment.
There you
Yeah.
go.
I
And
don't
and,
think
and
that's
this
an
is
appropriate
where
punishment. Yeah.
and this is why I kept talking about cronyism and all these things, because people forget that this is bigger than just me at the time I'm making the decision, right? Football. I mean, imagine a team representing your country being a no-show at a continental tournament because you decided to punish the team owner for not paying the players. Like, what does that add to our football? You can figure out another way to punish that team owner. There's FFP rules now in deduct points from them in the league. Deduct points from them, but allow them to go showcase the country, the talent, to go represent the country. These are some of the things that make you sit back and wonder, like, do these people really understand what's at stake sometimes when they make these decisions?
No, but that's when I tell you, you bring footballers and make them administrators overnight, when really they have no proven record, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are there any other comments on that?
I think that's it. I think that's it so far. Thank you, Tres Catos. I think he was really active on Facebook there with the comments.
Oh yes,
Then
oh yes,
Sako
he's
also.
Yes,
Mhm.
he's actually a guy who he loves the game. He follows now. I think he follows now more like African football as opposed to
Yes.
the EPL. Yeah, he's
That's
so
what
much.
I've been trying to do in the last
Mhm.
few
Yeah.
last 8 months. I've been
Because
trying to
it's beneficial.
focus
It's
more on
beneficial.
African football, even Brazil, even the South American League, and also maybe even Cameroon. We can't be talking, we can't be saying that we need them. If we need the local league to be that good without us not following or not
But
having an idea of what's going on down there. So
but
I've
let
been
me
trying
ask
to
you.
get
Okay,
involved to there.
or you're following as part as
Yeah.
news, or are you watching?
Some of these
Scoreline.
leagues,
Sometimes
some of
I
these
have.
leagues are on
Sometimes, yeah.
TV.
Some matches I go on Facebook
They're on
Live
TV.
and I
Yeah.
watch some matches. Like I
Some of
watched the
the
Popo versus Young Sport Academy. Was it
On
last week
Facebook. Yeah.
on Facebook? Yeah,
on amateur cameras.
yeah. Of
Yeah,
course, but
yeah,
it's better
yeah.
than nothing. At least I
Same,
should have an
same.
idea. I'm
And
at least I.
no,
Yeah.
but I mean, being sports actually carries some of these things, and if even
No, no,
super
no, 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 not
sport,
Cameroon. I'm talking about
No,
Cameroon. He's
no,
talking
I'm
about
talking about
Cameroon football.
The Cameroon Elite One and Elite Two. You want? Yeah, I
yeah,
know
because I've
they
watched the
come.
Nigerian Soccer League. I've watched the
The,
Nigerian Soccer League a
yeah,
couple of times. I've watched the Tanzanian League once or twice when I stumble on them on the IPTV thing,
No,
and even the
yeah,
South
no,
African League. So
no. What I'm saying is
Cameroon is
that
only on Facebook Live. Someone can
no,
share a link. You watch it on
no.
Facebook.
What I'm saying is that Ajab, I'm not gonna waste. I'm not gonna waste my time to watch an
No,
amateur
I just
because
want to have an I just want to have an idea. If I want to talk about Cameroon League, I need to be able to share some experiences. I don't want to
oh
go
yeah, I
hear
read.
what somebody said. So that's why it's not like I'm going to lose sleep to watch them.
over.
No, I won't do that.
No,
Yeah.
I
No, I
mean,
understand now.
and then the thing is, football, True Lion. The thing is, some of these teams actually have media departments, right? Teams like Opopo, PWD, they actually have media departments that actually record their games so that they can watch them again. Even if it's amateur cameras, they place themselves high enough in places in the game, in the stadium, that you can actually get a good view of a panoramic view of the stadium and the action that's happening. Like, remember the video from Dumbe Douala
But let me
of
ask
him.
you guys a question. If these teams
So
we just talked about Opopo, I just talked about Douala, the young kid Douala. I'm still finding a video to see where he played since he
no,
went
but
back.
I sent something to you weeks
No,
ago.
those are just
Those are
yeah,
little
no, I
highlights,
understand.
right? They
We're
put
supposed
together.
to like Dwala is the guy that everyone wants to watch now because first people were saying they select the man because na Opo President Opopo na ito fit friend, but I watched maybe highlights of his game. His touches are good and all that, but we need Dwala now. He's supposed to be the face because he's 17. Maybe the under 20 squad he's gonna be there for sure. The under 23 squad is gonna be there for sure. Chan is coming up. He's gonna be there for sure because he's like the main guy. He's one of the two guys that made the first 25 or 27 as a home base player. So it means he was the best midfielder in the Cameroon League at that time. So we need
Mhm.
to watch him. Some of us out here need to watch him.
Well,
So
because
yeah,
rumor out there.
Radio Boya TV is doing a pretty okay job trying to show some
no,
of these
yeah.
things on the YouTube channel. Radio Boya TV. It's RBTV 237. Just look it up on YouTube. That's one of the channels that YouTube channels.
Uh,
Um, I mean,
maybe
they've not paid
maybe
for this advertisement, but I'm just saying.
maybe you young guys, you still have good eyes. You can be watching, killing your eyes and watching
No, no,
those
no. I'll
videos.
send you some
I'm not
videos. You
watching.
will see.
No,
They
no, I'm
actually
not.
do a pretty good job. They
Believe me,
actually.
believe me, I don't watch. I will not kill my time. I'll not kill myself, man, because the pictures are horrible and I cannot. My eyes, I'm getting
No,
old.
I
You
understand. I
guys don't
understand.
understand.
The thing is, right? If we have to promote our leagues, right? Some of these amateur videographers and media folks, we have to give them that chance to actually entertain us. Right?
No,
Some of the videos are not actually.
I would
Yeah,
rather
I
watch
would
the
rather.
poor camera. I would rather watch the poor quality. I would rather
Mhm.
watch the poor quality Young Sport versus Opopo than watching Crystal Palace versus Luton
Luton, exactly,
on the
and my
76
4K,
and on the
4K,
yeah 4K. Honestly, trust me,
yeah.
But that's
that's
for
how I look
me.
at football right now.
For me, that's if the league gets organized. I wouldn't watch
Yeah.
something that people are embezzling. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't promote
As a matter of principle, I understand you, True Lion. As a
yeah,
matter
I
of
won't.
principle, I understand
Yeah,
you.
I don't
Absolutely.
promote the disorganization. I don't do that. I don't do that. But
I mean, the
anyway,
thing is,
guys,
some of these games, you're even watching it, players are standing right behind the keeper and clapping, and they're supposed to be warming up, and they're wearing the same jersey as the other as their team. So some of these things, I mean, the rules you can tell. Some refs
no,
are making
that's
some
not even
outlandish
that's not
calls,
even that.
but it makes for fun. It makes for fun watching. To be honest, I've actually watched. I think this RBTV 237. They've actually carried. I think one or two games live on social media, and it's been fun because the production quality is not the same as some of these bigger leagues, but it's still good enough that we can actually enjoy the football. So that's all I'm saying. Let's just try as much as possible. If we can support, that's good. The unfortunate thing is they don't advertise enough. There's not a lot of
But let me ask you a
commercial.
question, bro. You say if
Yeah.
you can support, that's good. How does support? Because when we say support,
When,
right?
when you click and watch, it helps there.
How
I don't know.
who does it help?
It helps
No,
them because you got to
I,
click a subscription or something. They have viewers.
no,
I mean, I'm
No,
just saying.
oh, you're talking about the videographers and not the. You're
Yes,
talking about
yes, yes.
okay,
The
okay.
videographers.
If someone's channel, I'm talking about the league itself.
no. I watch it for my entertainment purposes, and I want to watch. I want to know. Like I said, I don't want to talk about Cameroon football league. Talk about us developing from grassroots levels when I don't watch the grassroots levels that I want to be developed. I can't only focus on what the people in the offices are doing to develop football. I want to also see the football and say, okay, but these guys are not as bad as I think, and things like that. So that's why I
Yeah.
watch. I don't watch every game. I pick games. I choose. If I have time to watch, I watch. Like I
If
said,
I
I won't
stumble, I
lose
mean, I
sleep.
Oh
stumble.
no,
I won't lose sleep, or I won't wake up
I
early for
think
that. But if I happen to be there when the match is going on and I have a link, I watch it. I won't watch
Yeah.
all through the game, but I will watch some moments. At least I want to have an idea. Like okay, I will never watch until after the Afcon. I watched Douala play because Douala was playing Young Sport Academy. I wanted to see Douala, and the game before Young Sport Academy, I was impressed. I didn't watch. I watched the highlights. I know every player has good highlights, but some players, their touches, not just the scoring. I watched his first touches were good. The way he acts, he goes for the ball where the Frenchman calls. I pay the ball is good. The way he changed transition was good. So I was like, okay, this Douala guy, but I don't know his level. If he's better, at least I could see something in his game. And okay, at least I've watched Douala now. Prior to the AFCON, I never knew about Douala. I never watched him play. So things like that. I want to have a feel of the Cameroon League. Even if Cameroon is going to play the Chan, at least you can say, okay, oh, I saw this guy
You
play
see that
against this
somewhere.
team. He's not bad.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
that's what I'm trying to do,
For me, yeah, for me, it's
yeah,
more about
because
trying to make sure I recognize these names because I know that some of
Exactly.
these guys will play in a few years.
Yeah,
It's always
Chan, the
good to
Chan is coming. The
yeah,
Chan is coming.
exactly,
So.
exactly. So you don't want to hear a name and then you're like trying to figure out who it is and all that stuff and trying to find. So especially if we're going to talk about them, that right? I think I've had a peaked interest in all this Cameroon football since we started the channel. It's a personal goal for me. I want to make sure that I research as much as I can to understand a little bit what the nuances are because it's so strange to me that there's
but the
this
problem is that I
so
understand,
much
right?
money in football and we don't seem to figure out a way. We haven't figured out a way to harness that money and to make our own leagues better. It's
No,
really
but it's, as I told you, right? It's not a matter of. It's just a matter of that the wrong people are the right places because football is a business. You take people who only think about themselves, who don't think about
friends of friends.
others for 30 years. So that's why I cannot connect when you guys say let's help grow the league. How do I help grow the league when the
Uh-uh.
league is
I'm not saying
organized?
help go to league. I'd say I'm going to rather watch the Cameroon league than watch Crystal Palace playing Luton going forward. That's what I've been doing recently. If I watch
Oh yeah,
Luton
yeah, yeah.
playing
I mean,
Sheffield United, it's because
but
yeah, I'm going to
yeah,
watch.
but
I'm not
bro,
helping the league grow. I want to be
but bro,
part of it. Like,
the truth is
sorry.
truth of the matter is that you don't have a consistent channel to watch the games. See how this
Yeah,
guy was
Exactly.
supposed to watch.
that's exactly the point I was making.
Yeah,
The
what I'm
commercial
trying to say, True
are
Lion,
not
what I'm trying to say is
consistent,
that
so we
if
figure
I'm
out
able, if I get it, if someone sends me a link on Facebook, and we watch, and then Opopo is playing Canon, and at that same moment, Crystal Palace is playing Sheffield United, I will watch the Opopo game. That's what I'm trying to say.
understood.
You
Someone
understand?
sent you a link.
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay,
that's what
that
I'm
If
is
you
saying.
okay, but that's not
I
consistent.
think I
No,
think Tru3lion
I
can
would
get
too.
over the
But
idea
the
that the
problem is
league is
that
low
I don't
quality.
want to let things like that fly because
Low
it's not
quality.
consistent. Someone sent you a link. You are just talking. You're just talking, right?
No, no,
It's
no, no,
fantasy.
no.
It's fantasy food. It's fantasy for me.
No, 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 no. The thing is, Tru3lion, I understand you can't get
I
over
follow
that
Cameroon football. I follow Cameroon football. Do you know how I follow it? I
by
watch
reading about it.
shows. I watch the shows. Every
Mm.
show they're talking about players.
But
That's how I know them.
everything is subjective. Everything is subjective, right?
No, but I
Our
watch also
I
Premier
watch
League and all
shows.
that.
no,
Truly,
our
I watch
opinion.
shows. You know why I watch shows?
Mhm.
I watch shows in addition to that, so that if someone is telling me now about Douala, I will have an idea. I
You
don't
say
want
no.
to
I
focus because you now are just relying on what those people in the show say.
No,
You
not really,
understand?
not really, not
Yeah,
really,
but me,
not
I want
really.
to
So
have an idea
how do you
because
get
if
to
you ask me now,
disprove what they said?
I have a few players in the Cameroon league which I think are also as good as Douala because I've been
Mm.
watching the league a few times. Who
Okay.
are also as good as Douala. So that's my point. I'm not trying to develop the league by watching it. I want to have. I want to watch. I'm from Cameroon. I want to know a little bit how Cameroon. I don't want to be focusing on EPL. I want to
I
know how
think
Cameroon on the league. Yeah, it's not where we
But
want it to be,
I
right?
think Lion's idea here is what we're doing. How is it fostering how is it fostering football, local football? And I think that's
Okay,
where there's a
me
departure from our
watching,
ideas.
me watching Chelsea versus Man City. How does that foster football? How does that improve? Because you can't tell me English league is at the apex. It doesn't want to get better. How does that improve English in the EPL?
no, bro. That's entertainment. The fun is that you
So
guys
that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to
listen.
entertain myself by watching.
I'm
I
not
said it
arguing. I'm
already.
not arguing. No, but
Entertainment purposes.
you no.
Hold
But before you made that point, you said that we should help the league. That's what you said. That's entertainment.
Truly, you probably misunderstood or there was a miscommunication. I didn't say
Okay.
watching it is going to improve the league. No, I didn't say that.
the idea is for entertainment. Okay,
Yeah,
I think we get the point. We get the point.
yeah, there was
Okay.
probably a
The
miscommunication.
idea. Okay, good. True Lion, any I mean I know that football is a passionate topic. Sometimes we will get in these wrangles and these conversations, and it's very necessary to have them. If we don't talk about these things, there's no way we can improve them. We can improve. There's no way we can foster football. There's no way. I mean, if I had my way, I would literally do things a lot differently from how I've seen them done with FECAFOOT and the government and
Well,
how football is run in Cameroon. But I'm not. Unfortunately for them, I'm not the one in charge, right? So no
exactly,
way they're
exactly.
gonna deal with me at all. So
Well,
go ahead, True Lion.
yeah. Well, I think we are gone past our time. I want
Hmm.
to thank Julius Chu, the contributors, Dennis, Ako Array, Bitakola, John Nane, who else? Who else? Zago,
Sago, John,
and Asongo. Yeah, I want to thank those guys also, and Tres Catos. Yeah,
yeah,
tomorrow on Sundays, like every Sundays, that's when we normally have our show because we talk about the EPL to be specific, and then we also have different football news that we actually emphasize on. We actually plan to talk a little bit about the games today, but we're cut off short. We're out of time. So we shall be talking about football. Is that 3 p.m. tomorrow as well, Eastern time, right?
same time tomorrow. Yes.
No,
Yeah, same time tomorrow.
it's 2
But
p.m. or
before,
3 p.m.
Oh, 2 p.m. tomorrow. Sorry,
2
2
p.m.
p.m.
oh, 2 p.m. I'm sorry,
2 p.m.
guys. I'm sorry.
I want to
Well,
specify.
we're gonna share the flyers. We're gonna share the flyer. But I think it's
Well, it's going to be daylight savings anyway, so it'll probably be 3 o'clock.
oh yeah, it's daylight savings. So you guys don't forget to
Same time.
your
We should
watches.
talk
Oh
ahead.
yeah.
Yeah,
Daylight
yeah.
savings. Yeah.
Exactly. But let me leave you guys. Let me leave you guys on this note, right? So,
Mhm.
in order for us to better our football, we just have to be. I think we have to be honest. We have to be honest as people, and we have to come to the realization that football is not always the national team. The national team games about maybe we play about. Do we play up to 10 games in a
Yeah,
year?
that's it too. Yeah, that's a
We
fair
Yeah,
don't play
point.
up to ten
Max,
games.
yeah, maybe
Yeah,
10 point. Yeah, that's why. Yeah.
everyone. Yeah.
yeah. We don't play up to 10 games in a year, and let's stop looking at football as like just like entertainment. Of course, it's entertainment, right? But let's also look at football as a business.
Yeah.
Football is a lucrative business. There's so much content. Good football goes across geographical lines. Of course, today we're talking about the EPL, but do you guys know that some games are not even televised in England? EPL games, not all games are televised in England. Why is that? Because they promote fans to go to the stadiums. They have different type of blackouts, but those games are sold here in the US and across the world. We
Mhm.
spend each and every one of us. If I tell you how much I spend on football alone, it's a lot of money, even on the t-shirts and the jerseys and all that. So if we grow our football in Cameroon and make it valuable, it shall be very, very economical for us all. So
Yeah.
thanks once more for watching. It's
Before I
always a pleasure. Yes, go
yeah,
ahead.
before I close, I want to let you. Do you know I have two PWD Bamenda jerseys. I don't have a Chelsea jersey in the last 2 seasons.
Well, where's that money going to?
It goes to PWD Bamenda.
Okay, no, I'm just asking. I'm
Yeah,
just
it
asking.
goes to
Of
PWD
course,
Bamenda. I have two jerseys for the last 2 seasons. I don't have a Chelsea jersey. I'm a
of
Chelsea
course,
fan.
of course, of course. That's the way to support your
Yeah,
own. But unless we do it in an organized way, then we shall see how the benefits. We shall actually reap benefits. If it's in a disorganized manner, I don't care. We shall be here in the next 20 years, and
yeah.
players, countries like Tanzania will be way ahead of us.
But
My,
I'm gonna buy a Chelsea jersey next very soon.
I don't care, man. I
Nico,
have
you
my
see that guy?
Arsenal jersey. I don't give two craps. The
Well,
league.
anyway, this is how
I've
I look at football, right? I don't
Yeah.
care what people say. I don't have a. I'm a Barcelona fan.
Hmm.
So far as Barcelona entertains me, because we are here, we work money and all that, you get stressed out. If we can get entertained, that's good. I
Yes.
you entertain me, I buy merchandise. It's a two-way street. It's not a
Every
one-way
year I
street.
buy my new sets of
Yeah,
jerseys. I'm sorry.
that's exactly what I said.
I'm a season ticket holder. I don't care.
Besides us being sentimentally attached to teams, football
Yeah.
is an entertainment. So there's no
Entertainment.
way I'm going to watch two teams I don't cheer for, and then one and then say football is all about winning. No.
Yeah.
Besides us being sentimentally like you, Barcelona, you're a Barcelona fan. If you're playing, of course, you want Barcelona to win. They also want them to entertain you. If Valencia is playing Girona and you don't have any stakes, anything to lose there, you want to watch good football. So that's how I look at football too. Not only winning, 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 winning. I want to also entertain myself.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's a two-way street, right? Give and take. So thanks again once more, guys. Tomorrow, yeah, we meet again tomorrow. It's gonna be an entertaining one because, guys, don't forget that Liverpool versus Manchester City. Before we go, let me give you guys a little thing. What is your score tomorrow? I think Manchester City is gonna come up with a rare win at Anfield tomorrow, 2-1. Ajab and Nico.
I see a tie, man. The match is gonna tie.
It's gonna be a fun game.
No,
I
I
don't.
want I want your
No,
score lines. I want your score lines because tomorrow we're gonna talk about this.
I think. Man, I would love to see them tie because it guarantees that we stay at the top.
It's
Score
gonna be
line, score line.
score line.
Uh, no, there's going to be goals. 2-2.
Yeah, 2-2 for me as well. 2-2.
Two
Well,
two.
I'll go 2-1. I don't think there's gonna be up to 4 goals.
Man City, yeah, it's always be a tie 1-1, 2-2, 3. Yeah, it's gonna be a 2-2 tie, you know. Oh, yeah, that's it.
Okay,
And
okay.
can I just give you guys parting words before we go?
No, no, no. We ain't gonna let you guys. We ain't gonna let you talk about Arsenal today. We're gonna talk about Arsenal tomorrow.
We won the
So,
league at Anfield.
thank you guys. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you for spending your Saturday, beautiful Saturday afternoon with us here on Football Trio. Please share, comment, subscribe to our channel. We are on YouTube. We are on Facebook. It's always a pleasure as we look to grow more content. Thank you.